while a man whose whole life practically revolves around his mother is likely to have other family members. These people are not going to receive the same amount of attention. And even if he only has one other family member, this is still going to be the case. His mother is then going to be far more important to him than himself and the other people with whom he is related. This is also likely to mean that his friends, if he has any, and his partner, if he has one, will be of secondary importance. But even though someone on the outside could see that he is prioritizing the wrong person, it doesn't mean that this will occur to him. He might not have an issue with what is going on, and if it was put forward to him that he is neglecting himself, he could dismiss what is said. He could say that he wants to be there for his mother and is doing the right thing, or words to that effect. From this response, it will be clear that he is not willing to face up to what is truly going on. To the outsider, whoever that may be, they could wonder why it is not possible for him to see clearly. To them, it could be as though there is something right in front of him, and for some reason he can't see it. Due to how he is responding, they might even start to question if what they believe is taking place is actually taking place. If so, what might cross their mind is if they are the ones who are unable to see clearly. Still, if this was to take place, they could end up sharing what they can see with their own eyes. Another person could say that the conclusion that they have come to is accurate, and that they are not merely seeing things or making a big deal out of nothing. As to why the man won't be able to see what is right in front of his eyes, it is likely to show that he is carrying a lot of pain and a number of unmet developmental needs, without realizing it, as it is unlikely that he will simply be choosing to be in denial. His brain will be doing what it can to allow him to keep it together and function. Therefore, if this defense, one that has been erected unconsciously, was to fall away, he is likely to come into contact with a lot of pain and a number of unmet developmental needs. This, of course, would give him the chance to see clearly, but it would probably be a time when he feels deeply unsettled, and part of him will want to avoid reality. If this was to take place, it could show that he has experienced something that is significant, such as a breakup, breakdown, loss of a job, or a serious illness. Whatever has taken place, it will have been enough to create a big crack in his main defense and allow reality to start to seep into his conscious awareness. At this point, a part of him, if only a fairly small and weak part, will no longer want to be overly focused on his mother and neglect himself. Yet another part of him, a part that is bigger and stronger, could continue to feel the need to be there for her and abandon himself. To this part of him, her needs will be far more important than his, and anyone else's needs for that matter. Based on what is going on for him, it will be as though his mother is not just his mother. She is his child or a god that needs to be placated. As she is his mother, it wouldn't be accurate to say that she has no importance to him, but it also wouldn't be accurate to say that she has more importance than him. After all, she is not his child or a god. She is his mother. So, as he sees both her and her needs as being more important than him and his needs, it shows that something is not right. What should be normal is for him to see himself and his needs as being more important than his mother and her needs. If this was the case, he wouldn't neglect himself, and he would then be able to be there for his mother if and when he wanted to be there for her. In other words, it would be a choice as opposed to something that he felt obligated to do. His mother would still be his mother, but she wouldn't be on an invisible throne that elevated her above him and gave her and her needs a greater level of importance than him and his needs. She then wouldn't just be another person, but she certainly wouldn't be someone who he would abandon himself for. What this is likely to illustrate is that more or less from the moment he was born, his mother used him to meet some of her adult and unmet developmental needs. It is unlikely to have truly occurred to her that he was an individual who had his own needs and feelings and needed her love to be able to grow and develop. Through being deprived of what he needed year after year, he would have lost touch with his true self, stayed in a developmentally stunted state, and continued to see her as being the center of his world and essential to his survival. Underneath the disconnected false self that he would have automatically constructed to survive will be a lot of pain and a number of unmet developmental needs, which may have already started to seep into his conscious awareness. So with that said, if you are a man in a position where your mother has far more importance than yourself and your own needs and feelings, then this is likely to show that this is a continuation of how it was for you very early on, where you had to focus on your mother because she wasn't available to truly be there for you. But now that you are an adult, you are free to live your own life. But in order for you to realize this at the core of your being, and not to feel as though your life is going to come to an end, you will most likely have a lot of pain to work through and unmet developmental needs to express. And as you work through the history, the emotional history that is held inside your brain and body, then you will truly be able to put the past behind you and to be there for yourself, to no longer abandon yourself. This doesn't mean that you will then have to abandon your mother, but it won't be normal for you to abandon yourself and to be overly focused on her. And this is going to be something that will take courage and patience and persistence, because your life is not going to change overnight, and you may need to reach out for external support. But the main thing is that you do what you need to do to gradually change your life, because you are here to live your own life. If you would like to find out more about the services that I offer, please go to www.oliverjrcooper.co.uk or email me at info@oliverjrcooper.co.uk, and I'm looking forward to assisting you on your journey.